Hey guys, welcome back to the channel Everyday Carry for Everyday Guy. So training with only 50 rounds. Those of us who carry a firearm as armed civilians will know that the cost of ammunition has gone up and the availability of it has gone down. This is basically what I do to get the most out of my 50 rounds. I train, or I'm at the range basically every week. One thing I want to say is, if you know a firearms instructor or someone approaches you as an instructor and says this is a bad thing to do, take their views over mine. I'm not a firearms instructor. This is how I train with 50 rounds. The very first thing I do is from a ready position. And what I mean by a ready position is firearm is empty and safe. From a position of where you have perfect sight picture, perfect sight alignment, I take 5 shots, right? Those 5 shots are as fast as I can be accurate. What do I mean by that is, if after the third or even after the second shot, I'm noticing I'm putting that rounds virtually on top of one another, but I can speed up, I'm going to speed up. Those first 5 shots are just to remind me what perfect sight picture and perfect sight alignment looks like, what recoil feels like, what my body is doing when the firearm does recoil, what my trigger feels like in terms of breaking the shot as well as getting to reset. It's just a mental trigger, and that's especially useful for those of you who don't train often and who don't dry fire. You forget where the wall of your trigger is. You forget how far you need to release it for reset. You forget what recoil feels like and what recoil management feels like. You forget to focus on your front sight. If you're carrying a red dot, you might have fired more shots with an iron sight than with a red dot. You will, in that moment, sometimes forget you need to focus on your target with a red dot as opposed to your red dot or the front sight. So those first 5 shots are just a memory jogger and a reminder to my body that's what the perfect firing position, trigger control, and all those things feels like. Okay, the second thing I do is 10 shots from concealment. This is the only thing I do 10 shots of. And the reason for that is, in my opinion, most real life situations are going to occur when you are having to draw from concealment, present and fire an accurate shot quickly. So focusing a substantial portion, 1/5 of your 50 rounds on that is very, very important. Now, once again, you need to go as fast as what you can be accurate. To expand on that, what I mean is, if your first 3 draw, presentation and fire, if your first 3 rounds are like literally on top of each other, you need to go a bit faster. And if it's still on top of each other, go a bit faster, right? Do it until it breaks, until you are firing all over the place, and then take it 1 step back. You got to train very deliberately, especially when you're training with such a small amount of ammunition. So we're at 15 rounds. The next thing I do is a 1 reload 1 drill. Now, a top tip, only load the amount of ammo that you're going to fire for each drill. So if you're firing 5 shots, only load 5 rounds in your mag. The reason I say that is if you're firing 5 shots and the first 2 are accurate and the next 2 are inaccurate and the 5th one is accurate, you're going to start firing more shots to find out what is happening. I guarantee you, you will do it. So if you're only firing 5 shots for that particular drill, only load 5 shots, because that will make each shot matter to you. Okay, like I said, the next thing is 1 reload 1. I love the 1 reload 1 drill because you're drawing the firearm from the holster, you're presenting, you're firing a shot, you're dropping your mag, you're reloading another mag, you're racking the slide, and you're firing another shot. You are learning so many things. Now, something I don't use is the slide release lever. I know it's faster to use it, but let me tell you the reason I don't use it. Early days, I was on the range training, and I'm trying to be as fast as I can. So I fire a shot, obviously, it's the last round, and the slide locks back. Now at this point, I really wasn't as well trained as I am now. So the slides lock back, right? I drop the mag, I go to reseat the other mag, and in my haste to try to be fast, I press the slide release lever, and as it's going forward, I also rack the slide. Okay? Because a lot of things happening, especially when you're a new shooter, a lot of things happening, and you get like mind frazzle. And I thought to myself, do you know what? I'm only ever going to use the power stroke. The simple reason for that is it works for everything. It works when you want to chamber a new round. It works when you do a tap rack. It works when you want to do a 1 reload 1 drill. It is one thing that works for every single situation for when you need to chamber a round. When you're doing an immediate action drill, it's tap, rack, right? So as far as is humanly possible, I never use the slide release lever. I know it's fast. I know it's faster, shall I say. But that's just my training. And like I said in the beginning of this video, if an instructor tells you it's wrong, you need to believe them over me. So 1 reload 1 drill, 10 of those, so we're at 25. The next thing I do is 5 rounds with my weak hand and 5 rounds with my strong hand. The reason I do that is when I was doing the medical emergency ground tactics course last year, we did force on force, right? We used airsoft. And granted, I was training with some really high level guys, but what we found is generally when 2 people are facing off against each other, both people get shot. So you need to know how to use your firearm with your left hand and your right hand. Now what you can do to aid in that is activate your weapon mounted light as well with your left and your right hand, and throw in some manipulations, right? So your first shot goes click, you have to do a tap rack, but you can only do it with one hand. Also, sight picture and sight alignment with weak hand is very different to sight picture, sight alignment with both hands. Make no mistake, you will fiddle to find your red dot or your iron sights. It really is something weird. I hate shooting with one hand, but it has to be done. And again, guys, you're only allowed to go as fast as what you are accurate. But if you are finding yourself being super accurate, then you need to speed up until you become inaccurate and take it one step back. Then I do 1 reload 1 while activating my weapon mounted light. Now guys, this is important for if you are running a Surefire or a Streamlight or an O-Light. I have the Streamlight TLR7A I run the Surefire X300. I've tested various kinds of O lights. If all these lights, their activation is different. So if you're going to run these lights as part of your EDC, you need to do that with all the lights you're possibly going to run as part of your EDC. And I can tell you now, switching a light on totally throws out your sight picture and sight alignment. It really is something you must train for, and train your dominant hand to overcome that desire to do that. Your dominant hand must know, I'm going to switch a light on now, and be able to control it so that when you present, that red dot or that iron sight is perfectly aligned. So 5 1-reload ones with a weapon mounted light, that takes us to 45 rounds, and then the last thing I do is 5 rounds from the ready position like I did in the beginning. That is just so that when I walk away from the range, I know what I can do. I know how accurate or how inaccurate I am. I know what it feels like. I walk away remembering that is what firing my firearm feels like in the ideal situation, when I have enough time to present, get my sight picture, sight alignment, control my trigger, bang, you know. So, and knowing how fast you can do that is very important. Most of the time, well, I can't say most of the time, but a lot of the time, especially of the real life situations I've had the opportunity to see, it takes more than one shot to put someone down, right? It's not often you hit someone in the light switch, you know. Most of the time you're going to shoot that guy, he's going to be able to hop in a skip, and then he's going to roll around on the floor, but through all that time he's able to fire a round back at you. So you're going to have to learn to put multiple rounds on target. All of this can be done with dry fire, right? Every single one. When you're doing your 5 rounds, you might have to obviously going to have to rack your slide, or you can use like a Glock cube or a cable tie that you can put in your breech face. That'll give you a bit of trigger depression, but obviously the trigger won't break. If you want the trigger to break, you're just going to have to rack your slide. Your 1-reload one, it's easy, empty mag. You know, just empty both of your mags, draw, fire, or depress your trigger, it'll go click, drop the mag, put another one in, rack the slide, there's your 1-reload one. Same thing with your weak and strong hand, same thing with your 1-reload one with your activating your weapon mounted light. Another thing that's very important, those of you who know me know I'm always testing different holsters. Now my main holster is the Southwest Holsters Rattler 2.0, but I am testing this linked setup from Bravo Concealment. This is available actually from SA Tactical Institute, but for example, if you're going to run a Streamlight, it is this kind of setup. You have to be able to run your setups. Different holsters feel different ways. Different appendix rigs have the mag seated in a different way. Some have it canted off to the side. So train with the rig you are running. Me as a YouTube gear reviewer, I have to just basically train with different rigs. It's the reality of it. But then again, I'm going to be honest, I think I do more training than the average Joe EDCer. One other thing I did want to say, if you don't carry a firearm with a weapon mounted light, you need to train how to get your handheld into the fight and still run your weapon mounted light. Do 1-reload 1 drills with your handheld. If you can't, you've got a problem. Then you either need to invest in a weapon mounted light, or you need to invest in a handheld that supports a 1-reload 1 type drill. You will learn very, very quickly the capabilities of a weapon mounted light versus the capabilities of a handheld, and vice versa. That is how I run 50 rounds, guys. As I said in the beginning, if someone who is more trained than me says that's wrong, you need to believe them over me. Okay, it's very, very important that you understand that. Everything on my channel is an opinion, nothing is a recommendation. That's how I use 50 rounds, guys. If you do enjoy this kind of content, I put out a new video, at least one new video about everyday carry a week. So please consider subscribing. If you have already subscribed to my channel, please consider subscribing to another EDC channel, because we all need your support right now. That's it, guys. Have a good week. Be safe. Train hard. Cheers. God bless.